Hi, this is Rose from the Bryophyta Nursery in Sebezan, the Mediterranean, France. Today, I'm not going to be talking about moss. Sort of indirectly, I'll be talking about it, but it's not how to propagate it, etc. as usual. Today, I'm talking about ground orchids. And ground orchids can be an amazingly beautiful addition to your terrariums, vivariums. They actually stay quite small. They've got beautiful foliage. And the little flowers that come out for a couple of months during the year are stunningly beautiful. And so they are a beautiful addition to any terrarium and worth considering, ground orchids. Um, they kind of grow mainly in acid neutral grounds like clay, gravels. We actually do both. We grow them in like our rich red clay, or we grow them in like this kind of this red kind of gravels here. And it also has an addition of like we feed it goat milk additive that we make ourselves, which is perfect for ground orchids. And as you can see here, there's some beautiful yolk moss growing on top. Now we put this here. It's used a lot actually in agricultural purposes to keep the moisture in the ground. When it's here, as you can see, let me just take up some. It stays moist where the moss is, and this is a full light moss, and it's very very good for. Once the orchids go to seed, we keep them in like this netting, well, for insects, but also because the seeds are actually propagated. They're blown by the wind, so we want to try and keep it in the beds as much as possible. So we use these nets to catch as much as they can, the seeds. Obviously, we've got orchids growing up, but some escape, which is totally fine, beautiful. So the moss actually catches the seeds as well. Amongst the leaves, amongst the things, it's kind of blown into it, and you'll find many baby orchids just growing above the gravels or above the clay in the moss. After that, they kind of go down into the substrate. So this is the yolk moss, and it's very very good for growing your orchid seeds. It's very interesting that how that is an amazing addition. It really helps a lot, if that makes sense. So this is the beautiful ground orchid orphys pagoda, and we are currently mid-February 2003. So right now you can see they have grown their back bulb for next year. It's this one here. Yeah, this one here. And this is last year's. And at the moment, you can see that they're both very juicy and very full of life. This is a good moment, if you want to divide this, because this still has enough juice, enough power, enough energy to produce a flower and produce another back bulb. This can now be taken off and planted separately, and next year it'll grow into another plant. So let me just show you how I do that. I don't do it to all of them if they're too small, but as you can see, both of these bulbs are in good health. So take the back bulb and I just twist it. It comes off there. First there'll be another stem that'll grow, and then an additional back bulb, and that will grow into next year's back bulb. So let me just plant this here. And then right next to it, so that I can recognize which plant it came from, I plant the backbulb. And maybe if I remember, I'll do another video of pulling that out and showing you the new growth of a new backbulb. So yeah, sometimes like here, it seems like it either fell off or it didn't grow, and it's actually already growing another backbulb there. If you can see that. There's other examples as well. Let me just see. They are quite, like, this is, I would say, too small. I would leave this backbulb on. It's a much younger plant as well. Right? Let me show you. This is maybe a 2-year-old plant. There. You can see the backbulb. Can't focus it. The backbulb is very, very small, so that I would not divide. And also you look at last year's bulb. If it's looking like it's struggling, like I would say this one I wouldn't do either. It's quite small as well, but if you can see, it's kind of shriveled. It looks much older, so I wouldn't. I'd just let this one grow and become bigger. It struggled for some reason, and that can be to do with temperature, sudden changes in temperature, sudden freezes, sudden shocks, being walked over by animals as well. In the wild, a herd of goats or a herd of sheep or whatever, like a big animal walking over the orchids, the backbulbs can just break off by themselves. So you can find like plants that, for whatever reasons, if my goats get into the flower beds, the backbulbs have already broken off. It can happen as well. Sometimes you also find 2 backbulbs growing, and that's very, very interesting. So in that case, you can just take off the biggest one and put it somewhere to grow. It's that plant has decided that it needed like a second choice. Maybe one got snapped kinda, or something happened, and it decided to grow too. It's pretty interesting. So there you go. That is backbulb propagation, sort of early spring of the spagoda, the orchids spagoda, the early flowering spider orchid. I think it's the biggest name is. There you go. I think that's all the information. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll go through a lot of our other orchids. We grow some outside and some in the greenhouse. And yeah, there you go. Any questions, let me know. Like if you like, share if you want to, and subscribe. There's lots of other videos about the Bryophyta, the moss, and liverwort, lichen, and ground orchids. That's what we do. Okay, take care. Oh, visit our Etsy shop, and you can see all our species of, there's over 75 species of moss and liverwort and stuff, and many beautiful ground orchids. Okay, take care. Bye.